Okay, welcome to the 2015 Paper 2, Question 8, the second question of Section B. And let's get started here while I'm getting ready. If you want the worked examples and the questions, just email me at shanetroy@gmail.com and I'll send them back to you in PDF form, and you can print them off and attempt the question. You can always do it on the screen here, just pause it, attempt the question before you go on with the answer. And at regular times when I'm swapping between questions, just try the same thing. So that's very important. First of all, it'll give you a hand on what's happening. Second of all, if you know how to do it, well, what's the point? You don't need to watch the video as such, or at least that section of the video. It'll save you time. So question 8 here, part A, a company has a spherical storage tank. There's an image of it there. The diagram of the tank is 12 meters. Write down the radius of the tank. Now, you'll notice here it's a 5A, it's hit or miss. Okay, so if you get it wrong, you get 0 marks. Now, what could be wrong as well is not including the units. Okay, so be very, very careful to always include units, even if you're not sure. If you're not sure, use them. If you're sure, use them. So if the diameter is 12 meters, the radius is half that, so it's 6 meters. Okay. Now, the second thing here, find the volume of the tank corrected nearest meters cubed. So the important thing here is the volume. So, second you see volume, you know it's a spherical tank. I go straight to my maths tables. I have them open here. That's a digital copy of them. So you're looking here for length, area, surface volume. They're on page 10. You're looking for a sphere, and you have your area. Now I often see this being used incorrectly for the volume. That's for the surface area. The volume is this one here, 4/3 pi r cubed. So that's where I got the formula for this here. So I've written my formula out. Now, what I suggest to do, especially if your maths is weaker, is write out everything you know. So, like in this case, r is equal to 6, pi is equal to, now I would use the pi button on the calculator, but you can use 3.14 or 22/7, and then input your stuff. So the only input here really is the 6. Okay, so we typed into our calculator. I'm suggesting to use the pi button on the calculator, and press equals. You should go straight to your answer. And the question says corrected nearest meters cubed. So there's 10 marks going for this. If you missed out on the nearest meters cubed or the units, you're probably going to miss 1 mark. You won't get penalized for both. You get penalized for either. Now let's try not to be penalized for any of them. So 904.7. You look at the last digit prior to where you're rounding to. 7 is greater than 5, so it rounds up to 905 meters cubed. Remember, area is meters squared. Volume is always meters cubed. That's part 2. Now we're looking here at question 8, part B. So there's a 5C scale here. And the company paints the outside curved surface of the spherical tank. Find the curved surface area of the tank. Now we already saw a second ago that the area of a sphere, now it doesn't say curved surface area, it's in one sense obvious because it's a sphere. So we write our formula. Now the answer's here. So I've written down my formula. I've written out what information I have. The radius is still 6. I'm going to take a bit of time to say this. If your radius was wrong in part A, let's say for example you put down 12, forgetting it was just the diameter, and you use 12 throughout the rest of the questions, they'll be marked as fully correct. So in a question, if you're stuck for an answer, put something down. If you need to use that number later on, you use the number you declared. It'll be wrong in the part you declared it in, but every other subsequent part will be attemptable by you and will be given full marks if the attempt is correct. So I put to my calculator again. Now it says it's correct to 1 decimal place, so I don't want to leave it in terms of pi. Okay, I've written out 3 digits there. It's the second decimal place you're worried about. That is greater than 5, so the next one rounds up to 4. So your answer is 452.4, and then the units meters squared because it's area. That's part 1. So let's go back a step just to leave it blank. Now the curved surface area is painted with a special paint. 1 litre of paint will cover 3.5 meters squared. How many litres of paint are used corrected nearest litre? Now this is a good example. Say you couldn't do the curved surface area. Just make up a number here. Something, nice round number, whatever. And then if you use that number here in part 2, it would be accepted as correct. So I can see how part 1 could stymie some people. Now part 2 here, again, it's a 5A hit or miss, so if you get anything wrong here at all, it's going to get 0. Okay, so you're looking basically at how many 3.5 meter squareds are there in your tank. So you're dividing. Now 1 litre paint is going to write down the statement I'm given. 1 litre paint is 3.5 meter squared. I know that my area is 452.4 meter squared is the surface area. I'm dividing that by the 3.5, so I get 129.2 litres. Now, when I mark this, I mark the litres on paper 2. A lot of students use this figure. Okay, when I go to the hardware store, they won't sell me 0.2 of a litre. Okay, if I need 229.2 litres, I have to buy 130 litres to get that extra 0.2. So that's just, you round off to 130. Now they do ask you to do that. Okay, and that's my answer. Okay, make sure if you missed out on the units here, you probably would have got 0 marks. So just be careful of the units. Again, it's awful pay to do great work and miss out because of the, I won't say stupid units, but you get the idea. Okay, go back to the blank page. So part 3 here, the paint is sold in 25 litre tins. Each tin costs €180. Find the total cost of the paint. Okay, so basically it's how many 25s are there in 130. Okay, now so I divide it in, I get 5.2 tins, and again, I can't buy 0.2 of a 25 litre tin, I have to buy the full 25 litres. I'll have leftover paint, but that's life. So it's 6 tins I need to buy. So it's 6 tins by 180. Okay, that calculates out for me to be €1,080. That's good at 5C scale. So it's just so you can get temps and stuff here. Handy enough if you're consistent. Now the next one here, okay, in question 8, part C, part 1. So at another site, the company has a differently shaped tank. This is a kind of cylinder or whatever, with the same volume. So there's cylinder in the middle and then 2 ends, so 2 halves of a circle. This tank has hemispherical ends and a cylindrical midsection of length h. See the h there labelled. With the units we took here as meters. The radius of each hemispherical end is 4.5 meters. So you're basically looking to say that that's your center. That's 4.5. And it's the exact same thing here at the end for this one. Okay, excuse that non-straight line. So part 1, find the volume, okay, of one hemispherical end, correct nearest meters cubed. So again, the volume of the sphere, okay, is 4/3 pi r cubed. I want half of that, so you're basically dividing that by 2, okay. And if you're dividing that by 2, be careful, okay. But it's, if you work it out, it's going to end up being 2/3 of pi r cubed. Seen an awful lot of mistakes with that, okay. Let's do the answer here now. So that's my formula written out. Now I've multiplied by a half, which is the same thing as dividing by 2. Times 4/3 pi r cubed, and in that case I got the formula 2/3 pi r cubed. Then I'm inputting in my radius, which I'm given, which is 4.5. Make sure now I've seen this awful mistake. This cube becomes squared somehow. Maybe because of pi r squared. And that leads to an error. And you can actually, you know, I've seen people write down 4/3 pi r squared a lot. That's the wrong formula. You get 0, basically. Okay, wrong formula, even if you worked it out. It's unfortunate. So put through the calculator. Okay, I get 190.85. Question says correct nearest meters cubed. So that rounds up to 191. And my units there, meters cubed. Happy if you already used it there, so it just could be confusing because of the hemispherical thing. But should be a good way to achieve good marks on that. So 5B scale. C part 2 now is 10D scale here, so lots of different steps. And it says find the, that's all the same, okay, so find the length h of the cylindrical section correct to 1 decimal place. Now remember, you know the volume of this, okay, it was the same as the volume of the sphere. So what was it again? It was 905 meters cubed, okay, so that's, the whole thing is 905 meters cubed. You know the volume of the 2 ends here, you just found them, okay, it's 191 and 191, okay. So if you take 191 and 191 away from 905, you're going to get the volume of the cylinder. The formula for volume of the cylinder is what was it, pi r squared h? Yeah, pi r squared h, yeah. So I've kind of written out there in words. The volume of the sphere equals the volume of the tank. So I've already mentioned that. The volume of the sphere is the hemispheres plus the cylinder. Okay, the volume of the sphere, take away the hemispheres, gives you the volume of the cylinder. I've done that calculation there. Okay, so the 523 is what's important now. I've written out the volume of the cylinder formula, pi r squared h. Okay, I know what r is. I know what the volume of the cylinder is. My unknown is the h. I'm going to solve for that. So I put the numbers in. Then I can take this entire block. You remember the fundamental rules of algebra. If you want to move something from one side of the equation, you move it across the equal and it changes operator. The pi and the 4.5 squared are being multiplied by the h. So when they come across the equal, they become divided. Very common to bring that across and people subtract. Okay, or they bring it across and divide but change the sign. There's common errors that kind of need to eliminate. So we have a calculation here. Throw it through the calculator. Okay, we use the pi button on the calculator. I came out with 8.22. Question says to one decimal place, so it's 8.2, and the units there are meters still. Okay, that's my answer. I think it's the end of the question. Yep, so that's the end of question 8. So, best of luck, okay, and I'll see you again. Thank you.